Good morning, Tauruses. Welcome to Kiki's Doorway. Let's find out what our past life want us to relearn and relove about ourselves for July 19th to July 25th, 2018. We did the right amount of transportation. I know I had to travel, so I couldn't imagine the rest of the Tauruses out there that had to travel, had to make things happen. So let's see what our travels have stirred us towards. God, Gaia, God, Goddess, Mother, Father. What does Taurus past life want them to relearn and relove about themselves? I have two. Okay. What actions will Taurus... You already know, okay? All right, Tauruses, all righty. We know, I know. Okay. What does our past life want us to know? Of how and what to relearn and relove, right? Relove and relearn. We got to relove and relearn how to forgive. Mr. and Mrs Tauruses, a lot of things have challenged us for the past couple of years on why we should forgive others. First, we had to learn the situation that is in front of us is a mirror of ourselves in some way, shape, or fashion, whether we wanted to directly admit it or not. But when we started to see the mirror image in others, in their lack of respect or lack of direction, or not feel confident in their direction, or not feeling confident in who they are as a person, or not self-loving themselves, or not feeling worthy, we seen that come back to us in a physical form to actually deal with it in the now. And it came in faces of friends, family, co-workers, work, spiritual thoughts, spiritual path, life mission, the direction we want to go, where we came from. We had to forgive a lot, to the point it showed us how unconditional love was made and created within a human being. This is why we were born under the Taurus, under Mother Earth, under understanding of source and everything around us. So on July 19th to July 25th, our mission is to relearn how to, and we love that we do forgive people. And rather than just forgive others, we had to learn how to truly forgive ourselves, to give more to ourselves. By giving more to ourselves, we notice that we are in fact giving more to the others in our lives. By giving to ourselves, we learn, and it's funny, Taurus feels like, us Taurus, we feel like when we give to ourselves that we're being selfish, that we're not caring about other people when we give to ourselves, and we had to relearn, again, that giving to yourself shows the amount of respect, the amount of loyalty, the amount of worthiness that you truly see in yourself. A lot of people don't know that about Taurus until this year. Why not the year of a dog, right? In order to attract a real dog, you got to be something worth chasing, right? So we had to work from the ground up on how to forgive. So let's see also what our past life want us to know. And when we forgive, we also forgave that civilization part of ourselves. We are the Pharaohs. We are the Pharaohs of civilization. We know how to understand and forgive others and show empathy, which at a time not too many people knew how to do. So people came and looked to us in how to learn how to forgive and how to walk that life, meaning they had to walk in a life to see that where they would have to forgive another person, where they would have to forgive themselves. and how to pamper themselves. We had tablets, scrolls on instructions and disciplines and practices that we did to not to see it as punishment, but to see it as joyful, to see it as repetition and re-loving oneself again. How spiritual baths came from our ancestors, came from you, Mr. Miss Taurus. How learning about sensuality, sexuality, do tantric, do comedic yoga, do the elements of seeing both man and woman equal. Again, civilization came to us to understand these things, and with that holds great responsibility but great abundance and power. Now is the time to actually merge those two. Forgive others and forgive yourself on self-doubt. You are a pharaoh. Do not denounce yourself. You are an angel. Do not denounce yourself. You are a positive and powerful dynamic force to be reckoned with when it comes to making civilization. This is how we have languages. This is how we understood math. This is how we understood the moon. This is how we understood the stars. This is how we understood love or self and things around us. This is how we made the wonders of the world. So don't dismiss that. Big that up, because these are the things that's going to help you in your career path, that's going to help you in your life purpose. To do that requires a lot of imagination, creativity, intuition. That other side of ourselves, Scorpio side of ourselves, you have to bring that out. You have to forgive that you always had it in you. You've been practicing it since the time you were young. You just didn't want to admit that. People are so used to seeing that fixed side of ourselves and groundedness that when we become our not selves to make the situation better, they be quick to call us different signs, because in truth we know how to grab and absorb different signs to fulfill the main goal, not just for ourselves but for the whole community, for whoever we are guardian or leading or protecting. The actions you will take, Mr. Miss Taurus, is the Page of Fire. Yes, start off with the Page of Fire. In order to forgive, do we really need fire? We might need that spark, like the Hermit, like the Virgo. We might need that lantern to light the way to self-forgiveness, self-love, self-assurance in what you truly know of yourself. And your past life wants you to know that you are an angel. You are a pharaoh. When you do that, you will become outgoing. When you know that about yourself, you will become outgoing, creative. See, they're creative. Creative is what caused us to know about the great wonders, to know about the zodiac, to know about the clouds and the elements and source, to even know about dragons and the mystical, magical side of the world and ourselves. News of an exciting new endeavor. Use your originality and ingenuity, that genuine side of yourself, that genuine side that knows that it has walked from ancient time, the Sumerian, Phoenician, Mesopotamia, Kemet, Kush, the Nile River, Arabia, India, Asia, European, Ireland. You have traveled so far. Every place that had early civilization, you were there. You were the forefront. You were the pharaohs to help the people become happy in what they create as a community and as a structure for their civilization. Let's see what Dorian Virtue says about Egypt. Something is telling me to go to Egypt first for Mr. Miss Taurus. No wonder we understood the saying from Egyptian texts as light as a feather, that our soul has to be light as a feather. Tauruses, from July 19th to July 25th, have your soul, allow your soul to become light as a feather. Forgive. Whatever you need to forgive, truly forgive it. understand why you forgive it. For me, for the past couple of months, I had to forgive my concept of what a friend or a loved one is supposed to be for me. I had to be that for myself to truly show others what I would want them to give to me, to show me that they respect me, that they see integrity, that they see that I am indeed a pharaoh, a high priestess, an empress. I had to admit that inwardly to myself before I admit it outwardly to people that truly do know me. And when I did that, the funny part is they actually was waiting for me to actually admit that. I was like, what the fuck? You could have had told me this since last year, actually for a couple of years now. But how would we know that if till we walk it, right? All right, now. You have to walk that talk. We have to say what we mean and mean what we say, right? That's a Taurus move. Say what you mean and mean what you say. See? Yes! Yes! See, the train is agreeing with me. Uh-huh. Show you right. So, Tauruses. This card, Egypt. This card signals a significant past life in Egypt, which relates to your personal or present situation and question. When a negative pattern stubbornly refuses to heal, its roots are often buried in a lifetime beyond conscious memory. Fortunately, you can access and heal the issue. Like gardening, you can eliminate the past by pulling them out by the roots. If you are drawn to Egyptian culture or travel, you must likely have a positive experience in your lifetime there. You may wish to explore the belief systems of Egypt to tap into ancient memories. Much of Egyptian spirituality involved astronomy and astrology. See, I was talking about the clouds, the stars, the moon, all that. The moon and the waters, even the moon causes the current in the waters, which causes the water to be pushed to land, which if water is pushed to land can soil the dirt to create seeds, to create harvest, to create agriculture, right? These are things, Mr. and Miss Tauruses, you have watched and documented and put into tablets and scrolls that to this day we still use. Much of Egyptian spirituality involved astronomy and astrology, so stargazing can also help you trigger insights and recollections. On the other hand, if the thought of traveling to Egypt is frightening to you, or you have negative feelings about its culture or spirituality, you may have deep-seated fears associated with your lifetime there. This is fairly common as many traumas occurred in this land in ancient times. Working with a qualified past life therapist or regression audio can help you release and heal old toxic energies. So say, for instance, you had negative energies or negative experience. I had both positive and negative experiences of Egypt. I had positive when I knew I was a pharaoh, but again, I had negative because I felt connected to Cleopatra and her connection to Mark Antony and Caesar. Why? Because in my waking life, in this life, I had dated a man that middle name was Caesar, and I also had known and dated a man that was also named Mark. So it wasn't just my imagination. I seen my connection to Egypt and my role. So if I was Cleopatra at that time, I could see why I felt fear, because I know at times I had to exile or had to leave a situation to learn more about how to build a civilization. So when every time I came back to Egypt, I came back better and stronger for not just myself but for my people. And it's funny because I didn't even think that my people would have to have understood why I had to be exiled and did not judge me every time I came back. They could have judged me. They could have denounced me to be Pharaoh. They could have denounced me to lead in that past life experience, but they didn't. And in this life, I had to forgive that part of me that viewed it negative. Even when it came to relationships. I just told you two historical people that in history have passed, right? Passed on, that were Caesar had to be stabbed by his people because the power that he was about to exude and bring united to not just his people, but to Egypt, and the allegiance that Cleopatra and Caesar would have obtained if their course was still set, if they still was able to live out that naturally. So I had to release the fear also that in intimate relationships that I feared in the now, that I would never have a real intimate relationship because of how that person will view me as superior or intuitive or wise. These are things that I am. But I had to forgive that I seen those traits in myself as negative. So the men that came into my life had to, and women, friends, co-workers that had to come into my life to show me my distaste for that. They had to distaste me for me to say, hey, I like that I'm intuitive because my intuition is helping you. No, I like that I see myself as a pharaoh because people see me as one. They say I have high energy, that I care about people, that I defend people, that I protect people faster than I have protected myself, which I also had to forgive because that means I have to protect myself too. How can I protect others if I don't protect myself? How can I protect others if I don't heal myself or know how health and healing oneself can be beneficial to others? How do I do that? I had to relearn that and re-practice it. And I had to bring a little bit of fire first in order to exude that in the now. So much so that now my life is taking me on in a direction that I never thought I would go. It's allowing me to face my fears of forgiveness of myself and to accept others for who they are and the role that they must play for me to become that best pharaoh, that best high priestess, that best healer, that best friend, that best lover, that best counsel, that best guardian, that best leader for the community. I must experience these things to forgive them and know that I am not the only one that has to walk through these paths to become better. So when people come to me with they're not light as a feather self, let's say that, right? Then I'll come from a forgiving place and be able to not dismiss them, but to give them space and to give them opportunity to walk their life while being what they ask of me to truly be for them, and not beyond. Beyond is when they're ready to get the beyond from me, and that's something I also had to forgive in myself. So until we meet again, Mr. and Miss Tauruses, you are the pharaohs of the now. You are the ones to teach us how to be our best selves, not just in the spiritual plane, not just in a metaphysical way, but in a financial way, in an emotional way, in a creative way, in a confident way, in an outgoing way. We are here to teach others how to really accept themselves and accept that how they walk through life is just fine. It is more than fine. It is extraordinary. Mr. and Miss Tauruses, I love you. I love you. Till we meet again, and we will see you on the other side.